Hey guys, happy Mother's Day. We are on a quick hitter, I believe, number 10 of Money Matters. Today, in honor of our mothers, we are talking about honoring your parents. Honoring your parents is something that we've been commanded to do, but it's something that, out of our love of God, should really be something that we also want to do. God uniquely created us from our mother and a father, and the question might be, why? Why would you create from your mother or and a mother and a father, your parents? And the answer to that is found mostly in Genesis, where God created all things out of an overflow of love, not based upon a need. And so, this parenting and even motherhood, as it spills down over into your kids, is meant to be a reminder of our fullness and of the overflow love of God. When a child sees and looks up to a parent, they really and truly should see God behind all that they do in relation to those parents. And so it's grounded in that, and that's where you find it. You can't choose your parents. God uniquely gave them to you. For some of you, that may be more difficult than others. Some of you have great homes and great parents. Some of you may have grown up with hardships in relation to your parents. But God has things that He speaks about to us on both of those things. Honoring your parents is something that's found in the Old Testament, but it's also picked up in the New Testament in Ephesians, where Paul speaks about honoring your parents, for this is the first commandment with a promise. In Malachi, God uses the honoring of the parents in relation to how they were interacting with Him, namely sacrifice and in their worship. The reason He uses honoring is because honoring actually is an act of worship, and it's a act in our relationship with God, even more so than it is anything that we might be able to give or to be able to help with as parents or to our parents. This relationship, like all, is one going down and one is coming up. And so, how we relate to our kids as parents, specifically this week mothers, and then how we look up and we are honoring our parents, specifically in this case, mothers. And so, just really three thoughts, simple thoughts to think about today. Um, and really, it's just opportunities for you to be able to honor your parents. One is you can honor the good mother who is living with you. And I say that, and some may say, well, duh, yeah, of course, honor the parents that you have living with you. But we live in such a fast paced world, and we fill our time up with so much that we can miss moments with our parents. And the older I get, one of the things that I realize is life goes by very, very, very quickly. And so, no matter what age you are, I would say don't miss the opportunity to honor and to love your mother and to honor your parents um, for all of the good things that they have done for you. Now, um, the second thing is a little bit, some may think it's kind of a rain cloud, but it's just a reality. Um, and that is you have the opportunity to also honor your mother, who may not be as good as what you'd like, to honor your paternal position of a bad mother that God has given you. It's not something that we like to think about with Mother's Day, because we like to only have happy thoughts. But the reality is, some of you live through very hard, difficult circumstances and situations with a mother that may not have reflected the image of God to the greatest degree. But what you have to understand is, when you move to honoring, you now are no longer looking up to your parents, but you're looking across the table from them, and God is at that table. So, where early I would want to look up and see my parents first, and then from seeing my parents, I would see God. Now, as I'm looking across the table, I have to see God first and then see my parents. What I'm doing in relation to honoring my parents is not based upon what my parents have done for me, but it's based upon my love and my growth in God. And so, to the degree to which God has loved me, I'm extending that love in honoring my parents, not based upon however much they may or may not have loved me. So, you have the opportunity to show honor to even a parent who was not all that maybe they could be. And one of the things that you can do for that is just recognize that at a minimum, because some may say, well, there's nothing good about what my growing up looked like. Well, the one thing you can be thankful for that does reflect the image of God is they created you. They created new life. See, in creating, God creates life. And in their creating, they created you that new life. And at a minimum, you can be thankful for that and honor them through that as you seek to worship God. And then lastly, I would just say that you can honor the memory of a mother for all that God desires that role to be. You know, some of you have already had your parents who have passed. Your mother is gone, and this is a hard time. Mother's Day is very hard because you have that memory, some good, some bad, but you can always remember the role that God has called that to be. And so, as you remember her, you can honor her in all of the good, however small that it may be, or however great that it may be. You can honor her in that memory and then seek to pass that memory on through conduct to those who you have the availability to influence. So, no matter your situation or what you grew up in, you have the opportunity to, this Mother's Day, extend love and honor to your mother. Um, Good mother, which is sometimes much, much easier just to show that honor. Very difficult or bad mother, maybe some might say, where you're able to really reflect upon the character and nature of God and love her through God. And then lastly, a mother who's maybe passed on, and you are able to remember her you have her memory, and then pass that on to future generations for all that God calls that role to be. Pray that you have a blessed day with your mothers if they're still living. If not, remember them and honor them well. In doing so, you have the availability to worship God in a very unique way. Thank you.